Y'all, let's go pick some turnip greens or greens, rape, kale, spinach, and collards. Let's go out to the front yard. That's where I've got my garden. All right, here we go. We're going to go out here and pick some, and I'm going to cook them today for lunch. I cooked them last night, and so then I knew Hannah would want some, so I called her. She said she could come over and eat them. I said, good, I'll see you at noon. So here they are. Aren't they pretty? I've got a few zinnias coming up in there. It's where I had turned all this whole bed with a shovel, and I guess some zinnias fell off from the summer because that's a zinnia plant. And I don't want to eat that, but that is not. We're going to eat those big leaves. All right, I brought my colander out here. I'm going to pick them in this. That kind of tells me how many to pick. And the old scarecrow's out this morning. She hadn't got a head. But she's scared. That's probably why she's scared off. And y'all see that light that's on top? That's a solar light that someone gave me, and it comes on every night. And gives a little light out here. Maybe that helps scare them off too. Okay, I finished picking them. This is what I got. I just picked. It's just for me and Hannah. So this will be a plenty for us because I'm going to do some other things to go with it. Matter of fact, I've got a big thing of potato salad left over from yesterday. We could put that with it and make some fresh cornbread. We'll have a meal, won't we? All right. Let's close her up. Let me show y'all this. Let me move this away a little bit, this fan. Here's my decoration. I've got me some happy little pumpkins there. I made these back in probably, I don't know, maybe I put the date on the back of the list if I did. No, I didn't. Probably in the 80s, 1980s or something like that. And I think they look cute because they're happy. And they've got teeth. That makes us all happy, doesn't it? And this right here is sedum. You leave it out all year long. My pot broke, but I just left it there. It blooms yellow in the spring, but it stays green all winter. So that's a good thing. Y'all, Hannah's going to come eat lunch with me today, and I just picked these big pile of greens right here, and I washed them, and I put about 4 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of this skillet, and we're going to stir fry them / smother fried. These are what I cut up right here to go on top. This is 1 whole onion that I'm going to put on top of these like this. And I'm just going to kind of, y'all can see I'm holding it with one hand and doing this with another hand like that. This onion juice will go down in there amongst all that stuff. And you talking about some good eating. Oh my word, we're going to have a nice little lunch. Of course, now this is going to cook down. It looks like it's a lot, but it isn't. We can eat this in a heartbeat. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to put a little salt on it. Salt pulls out water, you know. There we go. And just another tablespoon on top. Or 2. And I'm going to put 2 pats of butter in it. And I'm going to cook those down for our lunch today. Y'all can be with us. Okay, y'all, I've got my greens in this skillet. I've put 1 whole onion on top, and I've got it turned on about, let's turn it to about 6, so I can go ahead and get them done. See how they cook down? Look at there. It looks like I hadn't got any. But I'm telling you this, I'm going to eat what I do have. And over here, I've got a skillet, a flat skillet right here. And you know how the other day I showed y'all how to make hash browns? Well, I thought to myself today, well, why can't we just make sweet potato hash browns? So I'm trying to do that. I'm going to grate them real good, and I'll fix to put them in that skillet, and we'll see how they turn out. I hope they'll turn out great. I'll be back with you in a minute. I've got all the sweet potatoes grated up, and what I'm going to do is spread them around on this pan where I've got some olive oil. I'm going to mash them down good and kind of tuck the sides in a little bit. I'm trying to make like a little pancakey looking thing. A little pancakey. I've got my eye on, let's turn it up to 7. I put my collards and my greens back there on that in here. Because, I mean, they can cook on a little eye, but this other one cannot. I'm going to just do like this. I'm trying to make me like a patty. I'll give Hannah half of it, and I'll take half of it. All right, we've got our olive oil on there. Now I'm going to put a top on it so I can kind of get it really hot and smothery. We actually want to cook it from the top and the bottom, and to do that, you need to cover it. And I'll turn it right there. Now I'm going to make us a quick pan of cornbread. I'm going to make it in this skillet right here. There's a sweet potato that fell in there. In this little skillet right here. And I'm going to put it on this eye. And I've got this much cornmeal. White Lily self-rising cornmeal. And I'm going to add buttermilk to it. Have y'all ever eaten a raw sweet potato? This, like just eating it raw. They're actually really good. I'm going to get the buttermilk out. Okay, all I'm going to do to make the buttermilk is just pour a little bit in this thing. I know I hadn't got my lighting on today. You probably can't half see. You don't want to put too much. You want to have your batter kind of thick. So just put a little bit in at the time. I'm going to cook it just a little bit on the top of the stove, and then I'm going to stick it in the stove on about 450 degrees to kind of speed it up. Because Hannah will be hungry and I'm hungry. All right, let's see. That looks pretty good right there. I've got my skillet on over here. I'm going to tell you, I'm really excited about eating my greens. I'm going to be eating them every day. All right, this is good right here. Let me show you about how it looks so you'll kind of sort of know. All this in here is cornmeal, and it's, let me see if this is it. Here it is right here, so you'll know. It's White Lily. It's got the scarecrow on the front of it. It is self-rising, so you ain't got to add salt, baking soda, or anything else. Just do this and have it kind of thick like that. We're making more like a hoe cake, okay? All right, put it in your skillet. Y'all hear it sizzling. Pat it out into a pancakey thing. Turn it down to 4. And I'm gonna let it cook just like that on that side. And I better turn it up. I'll turn it to 7. And since my eye is crooked, I'm going to keep turning it so it'll be even all over. All right, everything's doing good. My sweet potatoes smell like one. Let's see what's happening to them. I may be cooking it too fast. I'm just going to kind of do like this. Kind of push it up into a little patty thing. This may not turn out, y'all. I've never done this before. And, you know, I like to experiment in the kitchen, and it's just fun to me. I like to do it. Okay, let's see if it may not cook. I mean, I may not can turn it over. I don't know. It's sticking a little bit, though. I know that. Let's see what I can do. No, this isn't working. I'm going to have to cook it slow. We just have to get them tender this way. It doesn't work like the other one. I'm going to put some butter on it. That's what I'm fixing to do. All right, let's check this out. I may be making a mess big time today. Sometimes it just happens, doesn't it, y'all? I'm going to cut it in two. Have her a piece and me a piece. Okay, let's let it cook on that side a little bit. Okay, y'all, our sweet potatoes did not stick together like an Irish potato would. So, they're tender. I'm going to put them each in a little casserole dish thing right here. Give each of us some. I'm going to put butter on top of this. And I'm fixing to put it in the oven for a minute and let the butter all melt on it. And that's going to be good to go with our greens. That's what we're going to do. We got our cornbread in the oven. I flipped it over one more time and put it in the oven. And where there is a will, there's a way. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's get our butter out right here. Put us a nice little clump on the top of each one. Put it in the oven and let her cook. Okay, y'all, I'm cooking them. I've cut up some smoked link sausage, and the little baby ones, the little ones, and I cut them in little circles, and I'm frying those up real quickly. Go on top of our greens. Y'all, I'm going to have to apologize to you. When Hannah came in, I got so excited. And we were so hungry, and I already had the table set and everything like that. And before I knew it, we were eating and talking, and I totally forgot to show you the end of the turnips, or I mean the greens, and the sweet potato, the cornbread, but it was so good. And one of my followers had given me some pickled okra, and so we had that on the table, and we had red pepper jelly. You can get it in green or red, but we ate red, and that is so good on your cornbread. If y'all have never tried that, it's delicious on there. Anyway, I got so busy that I just cooked enough for lunch, and we ate it all up, and there was nothing to show. There's nothing to show you but empty plates. So anyway, I thought, well, I can't just leave them stranded out there. I need to tell them why I forgot them. Have you ever had a holiday before, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and everybody was so excited, they were talking and doing and all this stuff, and at the end of it, you realized that you had forgotten to take pictures of all that cute stuff that was happening? And yes, I washed my black skillets in a dishwater. I I've used mine for so many years that mine's so seasoned it doesn't hurt them. The main thing to remember is this. When you're washing your black iron is the drying process. In other words, I've got this water over here. It's not on warm, it's on hot. That water coming out of there, right there. And I am fixing to wash this skillet just like normal. If it's stuck, I'm going to use a scratcher. And when I get it all washed up like this, I cooked us some sausage too. I rinse it really good in this really hot, super hot water right here. I'm going to let it sit for just a minute or two in my drain thing. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to dry it really super good, because that is where things rust. If you let it just dry and you rinsed it in cold water and all that stuff, then it's going to mess up. That's for certain. Here's my little tiny skillet. That's what I cooked our sausage in today. I cooked some smoked links. All right. Y'all hand wash your dishes. I do most of the time. Once in a while, when I have a big crowd over here, I'll put them in the dishwasher. But that's not my first choice. Somebody said, don't you like to wash them in there? I said, yeah, it's fine. And I said, but I don't like to empty the dishwasher. I just assume you got to bend over. You got to about stand on your head to do it. You got to stand on your head to unload the dishwasher. Nobody wants to do that. Well, some of y'all might want to. I don't know. All right, so here's my thing that I cooked the collards. I keep saying collards. My greens in. I don't know if it's stuck or not. We're going to see. I'm going to rinse all these off real good. Put them in my drain rack. This drain rack, y'all, when George and I first married, well, a few years later, we moved here to Andalusia, and he had a friend that in Off, Alabama, that we went to see, and we were walking around on in their property, and that it's not stuck in there. But if it does, this thing right here is really super good. Somebody gave me that. It's rough. It's rough. And so anyway, we were walking around in his property, and there was this little piece of metal sticking up out of the ground. And I thought, what is that? And he said, it looks like an old dish drain. Well, I dug it up. Look here. That dish drain right here, this one right here, hadn't got any rubber on it or anything. It's solid metal. And I've had that maybe 45 years or something like that, and I've never bought another dish drainer. I've washed clothes too. I've never bought one. And so when that one wears out, I'll buy one. But I don't buy something. Here's my motto. When you're buying something, buy it forever. Buy it forever if you can. In other words, if you're getting a bedroom suit, get you something really sturdy, get you something you love, and that kind of thing, and then you won't ever give it away. You might paint it or not or what, but you won't be giving it away. And if it's made good, it'll last for your grandchildren after you're dead and gone. But some of this furniture they make nowadays is cheap. It doesn't last 2 foggy mornings, and it's tearing up. All right, so these little things are nice too. It catches all the stuff. So when I let my water out right here, okay, I've dried my dishes, and I want to empty this little thing that I showed you. This thing, I've got one in both sides. I want to just show you what all it cost. But here's the dish train that is 45 years old or older. Because I don't know how long they had it. I'm just talking about how long I had it. It probably used to have a coating on it. I don't know that for a fact because it didn't have it when I found it. Only about that much of it was sticking up out of the dirt. All this part right here was down in the dirt. But, you know, if I've got something that's working for me, then I don't buy a new one. I don't buy a new one. I mean, you know, I try to buy good stuff when I buy it and then let that be it. All right, so here are these little drain things that I wouldn't take $1 billion for. And when you let your water out of your sink, see down there in my sink, it fits on it just like that. And you can get some that the wire in it is too fat and it lets things go through. Like this thing it is what goes in my old-timey sink. But you see all those big holes in it? All kinds of stuff go through there into your pipes. So what I did is I just take this and I dump it out in my garbage can. But I'm going to dump it out on this today to let you see it. Like that. And right here, there it is. That's got crumblies of all sorts in there. And so that's what you're trying to do, is to keep that from going down in your sink. You just got turnip greens and whatever was on the plate. So y'all, that's one way to keep your kitchen clean. Y'all take care. Love you. Bye-bye.